Hi guys, you're welcome to this episode of Enlighten the People's Mind with Fred XX. And today I want us to discuss something. We're going to be discussing pride and arrogance. Now there's a reason for this topic because so many people, a whole lot of us are getting this very, very wrong. Now let me start it this way. In life, if you are privileged to have acquired one or two things, material things, things not visible, such as knowledge and other things, it's very cool and it's good, and you should be grateful to God for that. You want a lot of cars, you're very knowledgeable, you're very intelligent, they are super cool, and you should thank God for that. But what I want to talk about here, I think it would be much good if you use it to help people far and around you, instead of you using it to oppress, dehumanize, and humiliate others that have not been so privileged as you are at the moment. Now, let me tell you this simple story. Why you should avoid pride and arrogance, and sometimes um, what you think you know might not save you, or what you think you have might not save you. Now, let me tell you this story. A very long time ago, a fisherman and a professor were together in a canoe. This professor was very confident of himself, he believes he knows everything and he's intelligent, he's got no problem. And as the journey, he asked the fisherman, he said, "Sir, did you study psychology, anthropology, and sociology?" And the innocent fisherman said no. And the professor turns to him and says, "Oh, half of your life is gone." Just because he did not study what the courses he just mentioned. And the journey continued. And as the journey continued, they reached a certain point, a very serious wind began, and with a very heavy stone on the surface of the sea, and the canoe is obviously about to sink. Then the thing is getting more serious, and the fisherman turned to the professor and said, "Oh, sir," in his own layman language, and he said to the professor, "Sir, did you study swimminology?" And Mr. Professor said no, because Mr. Professor actually did not know how to swim. And he says no. And the fisherman turned to him and said, "Oh, in that case, your whole life is gone." And it sounds funny somehow, but man, this is not a comedy show. We're trying to just pick out one or two lessons from this story. Now, and that was how the fisherman jumped into the water and he left. Now, the fate that befell the professor, your guess is as good as mine. A man that do not know how to swim in the middle of a sea with a sinking canoe. What do you expect? Life is about to go. Now, at that point, you see that what the professor think he knew, the knowledge, the words, and every other thing, the title as a professor, everything there couldn't help him. But what happened? We can see that the fisherman left. So why are we saying this? You should not be so proud and boastful of whatsoever you might have achieved in life. Instead, use it to bless people around you, instead of using it arrogantly, oppressing people around you. Thank you very much. My name is Fred XX, and I believe that together we can make the world a better place than we met it. And in case you think otherwise, in case you think you cannot make the world a better place than it is when you met it, then please don't make it worse than it is when you met it. Thank you very much. Like I said, my name is Fred XX. On my Facebook page, I'm Fred XX Smasher. Fred XX Smasher. On IG, Fred XX 1616. Please do follow Fred XX 1616 on my Instagram page. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.